We're talking DJI Neo today. It is this big, tiny little thing that can be put in the sky from your hand. You don't even need a phone. You don't need the RC remote. I did get one for myself, but you don't need the remote controller, and you can just take it off from the palm of your hand and get just quick aerial shots. We're gonna talk about the Fly More combo, which is the one that I got. It comes with 3 batteries, and I think each battery is 18 minutes. So it's not a lot of time, but for this drone, you're not trying to like film a full cinematic sequence. You're just trying to film yourself flying, like, you know, just like walking around, and it will just film anything. If you don't have a videographer or a photographer or a friend who can film for you, this is the best thing, that you can just walk around and it will follow you from the back, follow you from the front, with all the little modes that they have inbuilt into this thing. And then you can also connect it with the app, which is really nice. And then you can change all the little settings, like how far it will film you, or how high, how low, different angles and the different distances that you have and you want the drone to be filming you. The RC is this little thing that you can connect your phone with. Put your phone in here, and you can connect it by USB-C. And then they also have a replacement for the Lightning for those who are using Lightning-enabled phones. Yeah, that opens up a little bit more creativity with the remote controller, and there's a little bit more distance that you can get with the remote controller. There's also the goggles and the handheld thing, but I have no experience using any FPV drones, so I didn't end up going for that combo. My experience with this drone is that because of its price point and because it's so small and light, I tend to take it out more than something like my Mavic Pro 2. Because with Mavic Pro 2, you're kind of like, it's so expensive, you don't want to crash it, you don't want to take risks with it. I know some people do, but for me, I don't really take many risks with it because of the amount of times that I've almost lost it. But something like this, you're not going to be crying over like the $500 or the $400 price point that it comes at. With a drone like this that can kind of fit in your pocket, yeah, it fits in your pocket, you tend to be able to catch more moments with it. You're not having a huge setup. You're not trying to like, you know, like you don't have like a shot list. You're kind of just like, I see a cool shot that I can get, and I'm just gonna put it up in the air. I believe that the best cameras are the ones that are on you at all times, so having this just in your backpack or in your tote bag, this is the perfect little drone that can just catch an aerial moment without a huge setup. So that's one of the pros for me for this drone. It also has propeller guards, so if you smash into anything, you're kind of protecting the propellers. So, and the footage is pretty stable, in my opinion. So you're getting pretty high quality content with hardly any risk. I mean, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance, which is kind of like a con for me. I would say that this drone is an amazing entry-level drone because it kind of gets you used to the whole DJI interface of flying drones. So you're practicing with a tiny drone. It makes me kind of want to try using my Mavic Pro 2 more because I'm more used to flying this, and then it gets me more confident to fly something more expensive. So I would say this is the perfect entry-level drone if you're trying to get into little drones or like anything. This is the entry-level drone, and I would recommend it to anybody. When it comes to editing, I would say the editing process is kind of the same for me. I would still import the footage into CapCut or into Premiere Pro, which are the two softwares that I use primarily. And I would put Dehancer, which is only for my Premiere workflow. I would use Dehancer and put my color profile onto it with the plugin to get that cinematic look where I get my aesthetic. So if you're interested in using Dehancer to color grade your footage, you can find it in the link below for a 10% off using my code. People also are kind of worried about the noise that it makes, because it is pretty noisy for a tiny little thing. But DJI are smart and they have come with a solution for this thing. When you connect it to the app, the Fly More app, I think DJI Fly app, I don't know what it's called, but you can connect your phone to it, your phone's microphone. So it kind of uses AI to block out the propeller sounds. And you can also connect to this mic, DJI Mic 2, to the drone. So you're clipping it to yourself and then you're vlogging. The drone is tracking you. The drone is tracking you and the audio is coming internally into the drone. So it's stored as an audio file so you can pair the audio with the video in the editing, in the post, which is kind of amazing. So I would say that's a plus for me for this drone. I would say that the drone indoors so far has been so-so, a little bit on the lower side because it doesn't do quite well with low light settings. Unless you have a very bright house, it will kind of be grainy, so you want to make sure that it's well lit for it to have nice, clear footage, because it is using a 12 megapixel camera and it's a small sensor, so that's what you're gonna get. One thing you have to know about flying the DJI Neo is lighting is everything. Because the sensor is smaller, you need good lighting. And in Singapore, that means flying it in the middle of the day. And as you can see from how much I'm sweating, it's not very easy on the pilot. So some things that I have discovered since using the DJI Neo is that when you are in a place that has a lack of GPS signal, your DJI Neo will automatically go into this mode called ATTI mode or attitude mode, where it basically forgoes all safety regulations of the drone. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but my drone was going crazy. It was going out of control and drifting. Basically, I was like in manual mode with this drone. So you have to be careful when you're in an area of low GPS signal or there's a ton of buildings around. It might jam the signal that it has connected to the remote. So be careful when you're flying. And if it ever says that it's going into ATTI mode, I would highly recommend bringing it as close to you as possible or landing it, because I got a bit scared for a moment, like when it was flying over water, especially. I've got a ton of questions after I posted my last video with the DJI Neo, which you can watch here in the link below, regarding flying this over water. I had no problems with flying it over water, but people have said that the sensors don't really detect water, the reflection kind of confuses the drone, and it's a little bit dangerous, it loses control. I would say that you should fly the drone with a remote over water if you're planning on flying it over water, rather than taking it off your hand, palm landing and takeoff, because you kind of like don't have much control with that when you're in that mode. Lastly, I would say that the settings that you change in the DJI Fly app is a little bit different when you are connected to the remote as to when you're connected just to your phone and you're flying it with your phone. You have a little bit more control when you're connecting it to the remote, so that's something to note. If you are looking to buy this drone, you have more controls when you buy this package. A lot of people have asked if I've used ND filters for my cinematic video for the DJI Neo. The answer is no, but that was before Freewell sent me their ND filters. So from here on out, I will be using the ND filters that Freewell have sent to me. To install it, it's kind of easy. You just get this magnetic ring, you stick it to the camera of the DJI Neo, and then the ND filters attach magnetically onto the camera. And it's just as easy as that. So the reason why people use ND filters is because you want to maintain that same shutter speed and you don't want to have too much light come in. So the ND filters kind of block that. It's essentially sunglasses for your camera. On a bright day, the brighter the day, the larger the ND filter number you need to go. That's how I understand how ND filters work. So from here on out, I will be using these Freewell ND filters from Freewell. There are a standard pack and a bright day pack. So it depends on the day and as you see fit for your aesthetic and the type of shot that you want to get from the DJI Neo. That just about wraps up my video about the DJI Neo. I hope it helped somebody. My pros, my cons, the things that I liked about the drone, and the things that I wish was better. If you guys are interested in a full breakdown of my settings, my cinematic settings for the drone, please leave a comment below. Click that subscribe button, and I hope to make more videos and tutorials for you guys soon. Thanks.